If you take the energy transition being transitioning to renewables and a less carbon intensive energy sector, I guess to me the greatest challenge would be trying to make it as inexpensive as possible to accomplish that. The way that I would hope that it is done is through market mechanisms rather than regulatory mandates. Technologically, I have no doubt that it is feasible. The question is just the cost, and the way to ensure that the cost of this transition is as low as possible is through greater reliance on market mechanisms, in spite of the fact that typically the political process likes the other. I guess the first would be is to engage in what I called price the actual cost that occurs in the network, and rather than setting administrative prices, as well as planning the transmission network and planning the process to facilitate the interconnection of the renewables, relying on the fact that people will locate the facilities where they need them to meet the demand, once again relying on the market mechanism, but recognizing that just like with the transportation sector, if you have a well-defined set of roads, people can locate it along the roads where they find it in their interest to locate. The same logic, I think, applies to the transmission networks and distribution networks for people to interconnect. It's to try to make that as easy as possible for that to occur. I think that this is an area that is very underappreciated in terms of managing this, since there will be much greater risk of supply shortfalls in a world in which we're relying on intermittent renewables. So this opens up a role for financial participants to provide these risk management services, working with physical players in the market. So I think this is a very important area and should not be shut off, in spite of the certainly probably and often deservedly so reputation that many financial players have. But properly overseen, they can provide significant benefits to the market. The important point is to recognize that if consumers don't see the prices and they're shielded from what are the prices that are arising from the market mechanisms, it will be very difficult for the demand side to have any effect. And I think that the metaphor I like to use is the way that historically we've been running markets is as if there's just the supply side and no demand side, but just like an airplane needs wings on both sides of the plane to fly, I think the market needs active participation of demand and active participation of supply. For that to happen, that means those price signals need to go to both consumers and producers in equal measure in order for that to happen.